Hello and welcome to World Talks with me, Anna Kalczyńska. Good morning. First exhumations of the Volhynia massacre victims are going to start this spring in the Tarnopol area in Ukraine. To announce this decision in an effort to put this sensitive issue higher on the political agenda, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is coming to Warsaw today, this according to a Polish daily Gazeta Wyborcza. To discuss this and other potential issues to be touched upon during Zelenskyy's visit to Poland, I'm joined now by Kira Rudik, Ukrainian MP, Voice Party. Good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
All right, so this is the third visit by Volodymyr Zelenskyy to Warsaw at a very specific moment just ahead of the President Donald Trump inauguration in Washington. So what do we know about President Zelenskyy's visit this time to Warsaw?
Well, first of all, it's to express our gratefulness for Poland's constant support of Ukraine in our fight against Russia. Second point, of course, is discussing the future 6 months of Polish presidency in the EU Council and the priorities that Minister of External Affairs, Mr. Sikorski, was announcing recently. These priorities included the strengthening of the defense industry and making sure that the air defense systems in Poland are working properly, figuring out if there is additional air defense systems scope that can be delivered to Ukraine. Important topic is the strengthening of the NATO collaboration, given that President Donald Trump was very critical about NATO, and there are many questions about NATO's future right now. And third, important topic is a Polish stance on confiscation of the Russian assets and using them for the sake of Ukraine. I want to remind everyone that as of right now, there are at least $300 billion of Russian money that are being stored within EU. And since the beginning of full-scale invasion, these money have been frozen. And as of right now, there was a decision of G7 to use the prospects of those money to support Ukraine. What we are working towards is to confiscate those money and put them up to cover the support of Ukraine's defense, to basically making Putin to pay for our defense and not the taxpayers in the countries that are supporting us. So Poland had a very strong stance on that, and we are grateful for that, and we hope that within the next 6 months, there would be significant stride of persuading the partners to go ahead and confiscate those assets and use them for the sake of Ukraine.
Money is indeed still a very important matter for Ukraine. Yesterday, the German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius paid a visit in Kyiv. So how would you comment this visit and what are the outcome of it?
So the visit of Defense Minister was obviously taken very warmly here in Ukraine, especially due to the recent statements in German media that the support for Ukraine may be stalled because of the elections in Germany. This would not be the first time when we fall victims to the political debates in the countries that support us. For example, last year, the support for Ukraine was delayed 6 months in the United States due to the debates in the Congress and due to the political fight there, and then due to the preparation to the elections. So we already know that there is a possibility, given the political debate in Germany, and visit by German supporters was taken very good because they came to say that the support will continue. There is a big question of the size of the support, and again, the necessity for Ukraine to continue pushing back against Russia, especially at the time when Donald Trump will become inaugurated president and will have to execute on the promise to end the war. We want to be at the strongest position possible for this discussion and when the first US delegations will come. And we can only do that if we have enough of the weapons and ammunition to fight with. This is why to continue the flow of the weapons and ammunition to Ukraine from our allied countries is very critical.
Elections ahead in Germany, indeed, in February, and energy is going obviously to be an important key factor to be discussed for among political leaders in Germany as well. So how would you comment Lavrov's latest accusations of sabotaging Turk Stream pipeline by the Ukraine?
Well, I can tell you whatever Russia is saying is 99% lie. And this is why if there would be actual things to investigate, we are always open to investigation. We are also open with our international partners to participate in those investigations, and we never try to cover anything. So whatever Russia is saying, and I would like to remind you that previous statements by Mr. Lavrov included saying that Ukraine is manufacturing bioweapons, having biologically modified mosquitoes to attack Russia, and there were many other things. So I would ask our viewers and listeners to take this information really critically, because Russia propaganda has no red lines and no blockers, and assure you again that whatever accusations there are, we are ready to investigate them together with our partners.
And what is right now the situation at the front line?
The situation is incredibly tough, and we are also very open about that. Russia's attacks continue not only at the front line, but at our peaceful cities every single night. So I honestly cannot remember like a night where we would not spend a part of it somewhere in the bomb shelter or under the stairs where we hide. And there were recent attacks on Kyiv, and we can only imagine how tough right now is in the front line, given the disturbances in the delivery of the weapons over the last year. So the main question and the main issue that we are having is the political decisions that sometimes they only become weapons after 6 months or maybe a year. And during all this time, when our military are waiting for that, we are losing people. And it is so painful because due to some bureaucratic decisions or some delays or some political debates, people are dying. So what we hope is, again, that the meanings of the Donald Trump's pre-presidential promises to get peace through strength would actually mean to arm Ukraine, so we will have a much better position to defend against Russia. And then if there are any negotiations that would occur, we are in a strong position. And this is what we are hoping for. However, you know that winter is the toughest time to fight, because no matter how cold it is right now outside in Ukraine, there is actually a place where it is much colder. It is in the trenches. And we are all trying to get the best of us to support our military fighting at the front line and get them whatever is necessary for them to continue executing on their mission.
So I asked about the front line, but also I need to ask about the toll among the civil casualties. What is the exact number? Do you know?
We don't have the information that we can share right now about the civil casualties. And there are only two things that I can say here. The first, no matter what the number is, it is too high. Because we are an independent country that was attacked because Russia decided to expand and go back to the Russian Empire. People are dying because we have the crazy neighbor who decided to launch the war of aggression. And unfortunately, the international assurances for security did not work. And second point is that no matter what the calculation of the civil casualties we have, it is not accurate because Russia is attacking us constantly and people are dying constantly. And you have seen the recent attacks on Zaporizhia when at least 20 people were killed and 100 people were injured because they were attacking basically a factory where people were changing from one group to another to work, and there was like direct missile hit. And these attacks, they are happening, and I understand that people may become numb to constant news of attacks on Ukraine. But this is what is happening every single day, and the world has ability to prevent that, and is to get us enough of the air defense systems and ammunition for that, so then we can make sure that people go to bed at night and then can wake up in the morning. This is incredibly painful, and we hope that right now, when Poland gets the presidency in the EU Council, there would be they would show the leadership in the matter of accumulating those support items that we need and sending them over to Ukraine.
Which brings us to the visit of Volodymyr Zelenskyy to Warsaw today. Let me change the subject because the decision to start the exhumations comes as a relief for the Polish public opinion and is certainly the first real sign of progress since Kyiv banned Warsaw from conducting exhumations in 2017. So my question is, why was the Ukrainian government so reluctant as to close this path, which may dangerously divide the two nations today?
Well, I'm not a part of Ukrainian government. I'm a parliamentarian here, so we can only put some guesses on that, right? So I think the main question was if we are able to figure out the solution to put this matter into the proper historic point for all of us and make sure that this unfortunate piece of the past would not damage the good relationships that Ukraine and Poland have right now. These are my assumptions, and I think right now we are in a situation with our coordination and collaboration where we can find a solution together. And the step that Ukrainian government is making is a strong step showing that we have nothing to hide. We are willing to figure out this way together and how to move forward in the most balanced and respectful way for everyone. It will be very hard to, it will be, I would say, very easy to look back and see, oh, okay, well, and figure out whose fault is what. But there will be an even more important question, which is of how we move forward from this.
I look at the program of the visit, and I can see that Volodymyr Zelenskyy is meeting not only Donald Tusk, but also President Andrzej Duda. Also, he has a meeting with the students, so with the academia. You must know that the difficult historical Polish-Ukrainian relations have, more importantly, been also a major talking point in the political discourse, especially ahead of the presidential elections in Poland. So some would feel that the Ukraine should revisit its past. Do you think that Volodymyr Zelenskyy is coming to Warsaw specifically also to confront opinions like the one presented lately by Karol Nawrocki, the Poland's right candidate?
What was this opinion, if I may ask?
Oh, all right, yes. He said that Ukraine should have revisited its past because it's difficult to enter EU and NATO as a member of as a neighbor having such difficult past with Poland.
Oh, sure. Look, if we look back, we will find many painful subjects during our mutual history. And it just matters like how far we can dig. And there is another question is, what does it give us, right? So we understand that this matter is very important for Poland, and we are respectful to that. We also understand that for some reason it becomes a matter of a political debate, which I believe the history should be, first of all, led to the historians and should be taken for our side as a ground to move forward in the most civilized way. No matter what we see in our past, I think the main question right now, again, is on how do we make sure that nothing like that is repeated in the future? And the unfortunate situation is that we still have aggressor at our eastern borders who is willing to kill all of us, and not only Ukraine, because if Ukraine fails, then Poland will be obviously the next. That's why I think right now we are more and more keen to unite our forces and figure out for the future and for our further generations, first, a very clear view on the history, but also an understanding how, in a united way, to continue defending our states moving forward.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kira Rudik. Perhaps a good summary would be to quote Andriy Sybiha, the Ukrainian Minister for Foreign Affairs, who said that any move bringing closer Poland and Ukraine would be a blow to Russia. So that concludes this edition of World Talk. Thank you so much. Kira Rudik, Ukrainian MP Voice Party leader, was our guest this morning.
Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much for watching. World News Online is coming very soon.